You lowered your standards once, to keep someone around, to avoid conflict, to not seem too demanding. And what happened? They didn't appreciate it. They pushed further. They took more. Because when you lower your standards, you don't make people rise to meet you. You show them the floor. And some people will always live on the floor if you let them. Today I'm going to tell you the truth about standards that nobody wants to say out loud. Stay until the end, because the last point will completely change how you see the people who left. Leave a like if you've ever made yourself smaller to keep someone in your life. Most people think having high standards means being difficult, picky, unrealistic, too much. And somewhere along the way you started to believe that too. That maybe if you just asked for a little less, expected a little less, tolerated a little more, people would stay. But here's what actually happens when you have high standards. The wrong people leave, and that's exactly the point. Reason number 1. Standards are a filter, not a wall. A lot of people confuse having standards with building walls. They're not the same thing. A wall keeps everyone out. A filter lets the right people through. When you have clear standards about how you want to be treated, spoken to, shown up for, you're not asking for too much. You're being specific about what you need to feel safe and respected. And the people who can't meet those standards, they were never going to give you what you actually need. They just would have taken longer to show you that. Your standards didn't lose you those people. Your standards saved you the time. Reason number 2. People who leave because of your standards were never staying for you. This is the one that hits hardest. When someone leaves because you refuse to lower your standards, it feels like rejection. Like you asked for too much. Like you should have been easier to be with. But think about what actually happened. You showed them who you are, what you need, what you value, what you won't accept, and they decided that wasn't for them. That's not rejection. That's clarity. They didn't leave because you were too much. They left because they were too little. And they knew it. Reason number 3. Low standards don't create loyalty, they create resentment. Here's what nobody tells you about lowering your standards to keep people. It doesn't work. Not long term. Because every time you accept less than you deserve, a part of you knows, and that part builds resentment. Quietly, slowly, until one day it's louder than everything else. The relationships you try to save by lowering your standards don't become stronger. They become transactions. You give up what you need. They stay without having to grow. And you both end up trapped in something that serves neither of you. Subscribe. What comes next is the shift that changes everything. Reason number 4. Your standards reflect your self-image. Here's the psychological truth behind all of this. Your standards are not just about other people. They're about what you believe you deserve. Research in self-worth psychology consistently shows that people accept treatment that matches their internal self-image. If you believe deep down that you're hard to love, that you ask for too much, that you should be grateful for whatever you get, you will keep lowering your standards to match that belief. Not because it's true, but because it feels familiar. Raising your standards isn't just about demanding more from others. It's about deciding at the deepest level that you are worth more. And meaning it. Reason number 5. The right people are raised by your standards, not pushed away. And here's what changes everything. The right people, the ones who are genuinely capable of showing up for you, don't run from your standards. They rise to meet them. Not because they're trying to impress you, but because your standards align with who they already are. High standards don't intimidate people who have high standards for themselves. They recognize each other. They feel like home. The people your standards push away were never your people. And the people your standards attract are exactly who you've been waiting for. Reason number 6. Every person who left because of your standards was a gift. I know that's hard to hear, especially when it still hurts. But every person who walked away because you refused to shrink cleared space. Space for someone who won't ask you to. Space for a version of your life that actually fits you. Space for the kind of love and connection that doesn't require you to be less. You didn't lose them, you filtered them. And the filter worked exactly the way it was supposed to. To wrap this up, high standards don't push people away. They reveal who was never worth keeping in the first place. The people who left because of your standards showed you exactly who they were. The people who stayed showed you exactly who you need around you. Stop apologizing for knowing what you deserve. Stop shrinking to make people comfortable who are never going to grow. Your standards are not the problem. They are the solution. And the right people, your people, will never ask you to lower them. Have you ever lost someone because of your standards and later realized it was the best thing that could have happened? Drop a comment.